Hey guys, thank you for joining me. My name is Dr. Tom LaHue, and we're going to be looking at Enneagram Type 7. And we're going to be looking at the checklist for Type 7 in the new book, Enneagram Guide to Waking Up by Beatrice Chestnut. We're just going to go down the list and talk about each of the points that she makes in this book about how to know if you're a Type 7. And after all, I am a Type 7, so this one I should enjoy. Let's see. In the description below is a link to my website, tomlahue.com. If you want to book an Enneagram coaching appointment and you want to talk more about your type or people that you live with and you're trying to get along with, I'd love to talk with you. You can book an appointment there. Also, there's information on my website about the certificate classes, the programs that I offer on Enneagram coaching. I would love for you to join me in one of those classes. We do them on Zoom. And they're live classes, and I'd love for you to be a part of that. Thank you to my patrons on Patreon. I really appreciate your support. I know you don't have to do it, and I appreciate it. Anything else? Well, I think that's it. Okay, so let's get started today talking about Type 7. And, you know, this is a really good book. I highly recommend it. I wish I'd have written it myself, but it's way smarter than I am. And so we're going to talk about the checklist that she gives in this book. Which is right there. But before we go down that checklist, on each of these chapters, she kind of tells a story about how this type came into the world. Kind of like the childhood story. And I want to just kind of summarize that, maybe read a couple of lines of that, and then we'll go through the checklist. Okay, so like I said, I am a Type 7, the social 7, the counter 7, 7 wing 6, 7, okay? So, how does it begin? Well, she says, once upon a time, you know, this little 7 came into the world and was born with a natural sense of curiosity and wonder. True. Check. I believe that. Came into the world with curiosity and wonder. And I don't think necessarily curiosity like, how does this thing work? You know, take apart this watch, take apart this toy and try to understand it. I don't think I came in with that kind of curiosity. It's kind of like, and what else is there? Oh, this is really good. And what else is on TV? And what else, you know, could we be doing today? And if I've got, you know, 3 G.I. Joes, what other ones do I need that I'm missing? So it wasn't necessarily like I wanted to tinker with things as much as I wanted to explore what more options were available. More like that. Oh, I've had, you know, 3 of the flavors of popsicles. What about those other 2? I haven't tried those yet. How do I know which one the best one is unless I try them all? Okay, so a beautiful capacity for higher wisdom and true joy. And I think joy is really an important word here because, you know, kind of we get to the end of the story. I think 7s really who are searching for happiness in their average health or unhealth, in their health, we are bringers of joy. We bring inspiration and joy into this world. Joy is not happiness. Joy is deciding I'm going to be happy even though my circumstances around me don't warrant such happiness. There's nothing exciting. There's no fireworks. There's no magic happening around me, but yet I'm deciding to accept life as it is and have joy in the midst of whatever's going on around me. And I think 7s are really good at bringing joy to others, bringing happiness to others when they're not so, you know, focused on trying to find happiness and chasing after happiness in life. It's amazing, though, the thing we're searching for in life is what we bring in life. Every type is like this. Okay, so they have a deep desire. He had a deep desire to focus intensely. Notice, had a deep desire. It can be hard for 7s to focus intensely on something. But she's kind of portraying like when you came into this world, you came into this world with this beautiful sense of wonder, this sense of like there's a divine plan and I'm moving along in that plan and I'm able to focus my attention on one thing at a time and really experience that one thing. All of this is very hard for 7s, you know, now that we've grown up. All of that's very difficult for 7s to do. Loved concentrating all of his attention on something that he wanted to learn and know more deeply. Okay, well, more about that later. Came into this world able to concentrate on, focus on something. Yeah, maybe at some point, but that becomes very difficult And I think, as a 7, I can focus my attention on something. I wonder sometimes, am I focusing my attention on something because I just don't want to be bored? What would I do if I wasn't focusing my attention? What would I do if I wasn't reading one book after another? If I didn't have a stack of books on my desk, what would I be doing with my mind? Okay, there's one stack and I got more. You want more? I got more. I got more. I got lots more. I got more. And I've got not only books, but I've got magazines and I got all kinds of... Yikes. What would I be doing if I didn't have all this stuff to focus on? I guess I'd be sitting here being bored. I got to have something spinning around in my mind. I got to have something moving in my mind. I got to be thinking about something. Okay, it can be exhausting in here. All right, so concentrating all of his attention on something he wanted to learn about and know deeply. And I do that. There's been times in my life where I've focused on, maybe I want to learn more about apologetics, defending the faith. And so I'll read 17 books, or I'll read one author, every book they've written, and I'll watch videos and I'll take a class. And then I'll kind of feel like, all right, I feel like I know that. I feel like I'm pretty good with that. And then what happens? I get bored with that and I move on to the next. Oh, I want to know everything I can know about marriage. I want to know everything I can know about parenting. I want to know everything I can know, and let me read as much as I can. Okay. But one day, when 7 was paying close attention to something, as he's, walking around through the woods, a bee stung the little 7. Oh, ow, this is painful. I don't like this. Runs to dad. Dad says, oh, come on, get over it. It's just a bee sting. Runs to mom. Mom says, I'm busy. Go on. And so 7 kind of gets this message that you're going to have to nurture yourself. You're going to have to take care of yourself. You're on your own, kid. Every 7 kind of got that message, you're on your own, kid. Now, I don't think it's the parents' fault. I don't think it's anybody's fault. Unless your parents were just terrible. I think 7s can be so demanding for other people's attention. Mom, look at this. Mom, look at this. Dad, look at this. Can we go now? When are we going to go? I got $5 in my wallet. Can we go to the flea market? Can we go to the store? When can we order this? Can we watch this video? Can we watch that video? When are we going to the theme park? How long can we stay? Can we ride the next ride? Okay, when I'm around a little 7, yikes. I can see it, 7s would naturally be called impulsive children. They're the kids that are under the table, they're getting up, they're bouncing up and down. Can we go outside? When they're outside, can we go back inside? 7s would be seen as being very impulsive children. I want you to realize all of us are very impulsive. We just have different impulses, and 7s are the ones that kind of get us into trouble. We're not trying to get into trouble. We're just bored with what are we doing. Come on, let's move on. This could be more fun. This could be more exciting. This could be more entertaining. This could be more engaging. We could talk faster. And so the brain is moving so quickly and it's jumping so quickly. And you got to wonder, what is it trying to avoid? You can see what people are running toward, but you got to wonder, what are they running away from? And 7s often are running away from boredom and pain and limited options. And so where was I going with that? 7. Okay. So 7s kind of get this message from people. Oh my goodness, can you please just go outside and find something to do? Oh my goodness. I can't entertain you all day long. It's funny, the entertainer, 7 wing 6 is called the entertainer. 7 wing 8 is called the realist. What? I was just being real. Oh my goodness. Are you kidding me? And so 7, the entertainer, look at him, must be entertained all the time. And when other people can't entertain them all the time, what do 7s do? They go out into the world entertaining themselves. What's this? What's this? What's this? Remember that beginning of The Nightmare Before Christmas? Jack Skellington is a 7, and he's depressed. Halloween is boring. I've been doing Halloween all my life. And then when he discovers Christmas Town, what's this? What's this? What's this? There's excitement. And I think sometimes 7s confuse that happiness equals excitement. And if I'm not excited, well, I'm not happy. So I need to do something to generate excitement. And it's a really powerful moment when a 7 realizes that, I'm thinking of a magazine somewhere. I've got one of those magazines on happiness, one of those Time Life magazines, really good stuff. But one of the points that was made was Happiness should not be equated with excitement. Happiness, by the way, sevens are called the enthusiasts, right? Or the Epicureans, meaning there's always more pleasure to, absorb out of life. Enthusiasts. Happiness is a general state of well-being. Man, that was just like light bulb moments for me when I realized happiness is a state of general well-being. Okay, well, do I have a state of general well-being right now? Yeah, I believe I do. Okay, well then, you're happy. You're happy. No, if I'm not excited, I'm not happy. So I need to do something to make things more exciting. I need to do something. I need to focus on something. I need to, go change something in some way to create this excitement and this enthusiasm. And then, I could be happy. I had to realize I'm happier a lot more than I realize I am. Hey, Tom, do you have a general sense of well-being right now? Yes, I believe I do. But I want to go look at electric guitars. If I could go get another electric guitar, then I'd be happy. Of course, other types would say, how many guitars can you play at one time? You can play one guitar at a time. So maybe, you have 2, maybe you have 3, but why do you need 7? Why do you need 8? Why do you need 9? How many do you need on your wall before you have enough? Oh, the sin is gluttony. The sin is gluttony. I need more experiences. I need more options. I don't want to be limited. And YouTube is full of sevens, not just me, but people reviewing stuff. They love the excitement of sending off for something, getting something in the mail, trying it out, comparing it with other things, putting it on the wall, and then moving on to the next thing. And sevens are like that, like Ariel, in her secret grotto, wanting to be where she's not content with where she is. I think sevens could look bipolar to people because look at Jack Skellington, look at Ariel, they're depressed. Both movies start out with the character depressed, sad. Coco, the little boy Miguel in Coco, he's a 7. Starts out sad. Because I want this thing over there. I want to do this thing over there. I must play my guitar. I want to do this thing over there and I can't do it. Oh, I'm going to go do it. Now I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm sad. I want to be happy so much, it's making me miserable. If you live with a 7, you know what I'm talking about. They want to be happy so bad, they're making themselves miserable. They want to be happy so much, they're making other people miserable. And I had a 9 tell me that one time. He was laughing. He says, you 7s, you crack me up. He says, you make yourself miserable trying to be happy. And I thought, wow. I think you got a point there. Make yourselves miserable trying to be happy. So this idea of the kid going out, getting stung, feeling pain. Ow, there's pain. Help me, help me. Oh, nobody's. And I don't think it's just the pain of an injury, but the pain of being bored. Wanting to do the next thing. Can we go to the library? Can we order this book? Can we please, let's go. And I think eventually the people in your life, don't have time to entertain you 100% of the day. And so they'll say, you're on your own, kid. And that's the message that's going to stick with the 7 is I had to go out into this world to nurture myself, to seek my own happiness. And boy, what a beautiful, bright, shiny world it is. Think how that contrasts with an 8 and a 6 on our sides. The 8, the world is stupid and people are stupid. The 6, the world is scary and frightening and they're going to get you. And the 7's right there in the middle no, the world is filled with all kinds of bright and shiny things and I need to explore them all. I need to go out into this world. I need to try every one of them. Maybe not. Maybe we shouldn't. Maybe it would create anxiety to have that many options. And that's what I found in my life. I'll land on something. I remember when I turned 40, I hadn't worn any men's fragrances for a long time because I don't know who's got time for that. And I thought, you know what? I'm gonna be 40. I'm gonna go buy Old Spice. I'm gonna smell like a grandpa. I'm 40, so I've already lived my life. And I'm just going to go get Old Spice, and maybe I was having a bad day. I don't know. I thought maybe it was nostalgic. I remember my grandpa used to wear Old Spice. My dad used to wear Old Spice. And I'm those were old guys. And now I'm an old guy. The hair on my chest is turning white. So I'm going to go get Old Spice, and I'm going to smell like an old guy. And I put on some Old Spice, and I came out, and my wife was like, oh my goodness, yikes, what are you doing? And everybody, I have 4 daughters. And all of my daughters and my wife completely rejected me. And they said, "You smell terrible. Oh my goodness, that smells like an old man. You can't wear that." And, this was 10 years ago. So my oldest daughter, Grace, was like, "Dad, you need to go to Abercrombie and Fitch and buy Fierce. That's the best smelling stuff in the whole wide world." And it started me on this ridiculous journey of buying men's fragrances. And so I was like, well, I don't know, I'll get this one. And I went to the mall and I bought this bottle of stuff that smelled good. Actually, I bought 2 of them because I'm a 7. How am I going to pick? I bought 2 of them. I was like, that smells good. That smells good. I wonder what else is out there. And next thing you know, at some point you have way too many men's fragrances. How many can you wear? I mean, why would you want to smell like everybody else? But eventually it's like, now you have this anxiety because you have like 10 bottles or 20 bottles and you're like, oh my goodness, which one am I going to wear today? I don't know which one I'm going to wear. Should I wear the blue one? Should I wear the brown one? Should I wear the green one? Which one am I going to, And sometimes as 7s, I think we go out into this world collecting things only to make our lives more difficult. Like, how many do I need? And like I said, on YouTube, I like electric guitars and I'll watch guys that review electric guitars, most of which are 7s. Most of the reviewers on YouTube are probably 7s. And it's like, okay, you have a wall of electric guitars behind you. And there's a part of me as a 7, like a glutton, like, I need that. I want to get those. But it's like, how many of those could you really enjoy? Like, here's one simple question. Which one do you love? Which one do you love? If you could only have one, which one do you love? And that is an anxious feeling for a 7. Pick one. Pick the one you love. Most great guitarists, most great electric guitarists, rock bands, that guy is known for having a signature guitar. Think of Eddie Van Halen. Think of Angus Young in AC/DC. Think of Jimmy Page, Led Zeppelin. Think of Eric Clapton. They have one guitar that they love that is their signature, And as a 7, it can be exhausting sometimes chasing every rabbit. And it's like, if I had every rabbit, would I really want to eat it? I don't know. Maybe it's a bad illustration. If I had every guitar, would it make me happy? Why can't I be happy already? Hey, Tom, do you have a general sense of well-being? Yes, I believe I do. Okay, well, maybe you're already happy. If I'm already happy, then why do I need something in order to be happy? And I think this is simple stuff, but it's not obvious to 7s. It's not obvious. I'm already happy. So why do I need to go get something to make me happy if I'm already happy? Well, I'm not excited. I don't have anything to like jazz about. I don't have anything to be enthusiastic about. I don't have anything to like brain spaz about. So if I don't have anything to like focus on, watch me get anxious. And 7 is a fear type. Afraid of missing out, afraid of limited options, afraid of being stuck in pain, afraid of being bored. But what if I could just be okay, like doing nothing? I would encourage every 7 to like spend 30 minutes a day for at least a week, maybe 2 weeks, just sitting in a chair with doing nothing. No telephone, no music, no pen to write down ideas. Just literally sit in a rocking chair. I say a rocking chair because at least you can move back and forth. But just sit still for 30 minutes and and just see what happens. Don't try to control your thinking. Just watch where your thinking goes. Non-judgmentally, just observe the way your brain works. And try to let that speedy, unfocused, zigzag pinball brain try to just relax, to rest. If you were to look at, for example, the Sacred Enneagram, right here, this book, the path of health for a 7 is to learn to rest, to rest all of that overactive thinking, all of that chasing after something in order to be happy, to learn to rest in silence, to learn to rest in silence. That's the path toward happiness, or path toward maturity, according to Sacred Enneagram. So sitting still could feel very painful to a 7. That impulse to get up and do something else. But it's kind of like it's kind of like going to a gym. If I could go to a gym and I could lift weights, I could build up an endurance so that when I have to carry water bottles in from the grocery, I'm able to do that task. I'm able to do that task without collapsing. If I go to the gym and I force myself, to build this strength or this ability, then when I need it, I'll have it at that time. And so being able to challenge yourself to sit still and to have a thought pop into your mind and to let it go without acting on it, without feeling like I need to jump up and do something else, and allowing yourself to sit still without feeling like you're trapped. Then when I'm at a doctor's office, I don't necessarily have to, get out all of the supplies and play with them. I could just sit still at the doctor's office and I could just have a conversation with the people next to me rather than feeling like I need to escape this boring appointment at a doctor's office. I could sit at the Department of Motor Vehicles and just be a person and not feel like I need to, get up and move around or do something different than what we're doing right now. So learning to sit still, learning to rest in silence is kind of like going to the gym and being able to have thoughts pop into your mind and then just kind of let them go and not feeling like I need to act on everything. Okay, wow, I'm not getting through much of the information here. Let's see what else. Little seven didn't know what pain was and felt like pain is something bad and pain is something unpleasant. I got to get away from this unpleasant sensation. And so the 7 kind of retreats into their own imagination or into other experiences. And it's kind of like a choice, I'm not going to focus on something painful. I'm going to focus on something pleasurable. I'm going to focus on something enjoyable. I'm going to divert my attention away from pain. Pain threatens me. Pain feels like a trap. I'm going to divert my attention away to something more pleasant or something more pleasurable, something more fun, something more interesting. By the way, that word fun is so problematic. I know that you think always 7s are moving toward what's fun, but try to define the word fun. Try to just define that word. What does fun mean? I mean, you could be looking out over a sunset and somebody says, "Are you having fun?" And you kind of am I having fun? I'll come back from, spending the day with one of my kids doing something and my wife will say, "Did you guys have fun?" I'm like, what does that word mean? Did I have fun? Did I enjoy my experience? When you really try to analyze what the word fun means, you could have fun doing anything if your attitude was right. I mean, some of the most fun times I've had have been working. I could be in a dish room washing dishes with the right person and we could be laughing our heads off, just laughing at nonsense and have had the most fun that a person could have while doing something that's mundane. On the other hand, as a 7, you could go to Disney World and be miserable. You could be miserable. It's too hot. It's too crowded. Everybody I'm with is too slow. The prices are too high. There's kids are crying. And so fun seems to be something that we decide to have. Is fun mean that I'm enjoying what I'm doing? Then I could have fun doing anything. When I first started to learn about 7ness, I remember thinking, my life's goal has kind of been to do fun things. I want to do fun things. Let's go do fun things. Why are we not doing fun things? And I remembered, I need to switch the way I think. Instead of wanting to obsess on doing fun things, why can't I do all things in a fun way? Why can't I do anything in a fun way? I could. If I decided to, I could have fun doing anything. I'm sure there's some limits to this. But I could decide, to enjoy whatever I'm doing. I could decide to be present to life and enjoy whatever, even this is where this is going to start to move, even in things that are painful, I could find value and meaning in those things. Okay. So it's just, I don't like it when people say, "Hey, did you have fun?" Because I'm like, well, there's degrees of fun. There's levels of fun. I had, I guess, this much fun, but I didn't have this much fun. So that to me can become a problematic word. And I think you got to realize if you're not a 7, fun may not be near as important to you as it is to me. Like, think like if you're a 3, you're living your life, maybe to push yourself to the next level. And look how important that is. That drives like all their behaviors, and an 8 to make sure nobody's controlling you, and a 6 to make sure that you're prepared. These things like drive your personality, and a 9 to have peace in life. These things drive your personality. Can you imagine being a 7 and being driven by, I want to have a good time, I want to be okay, I want to have fun, I want to enjoy the moment, I want to do the next thing and have this pleasurable experience? It like drives. And before you say that's so ridiculous and silly, just realize, what am I saying? I'm saying it's okay to move toward what would make you happy in life. Some of you guys could really benefit from that. Oh my goodness. 1s, think about that. You look like a 7 when you're doing well. Instead of always asking what needs to be done, how different would your life look as a 1 if you could a little bit ask, that 4 line, like what's meaningful to me, and that 7 line, like what would I enjoy? Think how different your life would be if you could just every once in a while say, well, why am I doing what needs to be done all the time? Why don't I do what I would enjoy? What would I enjoy? Realize there's a whole personality type called 7, the enthusiast, that's kind of living their life toward, this looks more enjoyable than that. I think I'll go with that. I think I'll go with what looks more enjoyable, what gives me more options. I feel like I'm rambling here. I don't know. I'm a 7 talking about a 7, and I feel like I'm rambling. Maybe I'm presenting 7ness in a very 7 way. Okay. It's who I am. I can't change who I am. Okay. Whenever he started feeling anything other than good and happy, he focused his attention on thinking about things that felt good or seemed happy. Makes sense to me. Whenever he saw people who weren't happy, he thought to himself, why would they do that? Why would they focus on all this sadness? Why couldn't they just shift their thinking and focus on something more fun? And then she tells this story about, no matter what's going on around him, he could always imagine of being somewhere better in his mind or doing something more fun. And then one day, his best friend moved away. Now, I didn't have that experience. I had the experience as a kid, about 4th grade, of moving away. We moved from Kentucky to Florida. And we moved away from all of our family, all of our friends, our school, our church, everybody. And I remember like really dealing with sadness, like really dealing with grief, like looking out the window and waiting for family to come visit, but family never came and visited. They would come in the summer, but we were used to people coming all the time. Like every week we had all this family that would come and visit, and we would go visit them. Well, all of a sudden all of that stops. And I remember just listening to music. Like I was almost like in a, kind of like a place, I was listening to like, these sad songs and playing them over and over again, and just feeling like this heaviness, this weight of like not knowing what to do with it, not knowing like how to get out of it. Eventually I got out of it. I just got on my bike and I started riding my bike around the neighborhood and kind of, started enjoying the things that were around me and started to enjoy living in Florida. But I just remember there was a time where it was like overwhelming. Like I knew there was a loss and I didn't really know how to process it very well. And so she brings that up, here's a kid whose best friend moves away and the 7 feels this pain, but quickly tries to move away from that and reframes it. And in the book, she says, he reframes it saying, well, I did lose my good friend, but that leaves this room now to make all kinds of new friends. And her point is, look at how the 7 moves their thinking away from a painful experience. And you say, well, what's the problem with that? Well, maybe that 7 should sit with that painful experience because it would be good for them to learn to process pain, not just run from it, because there's going to be a lot more pain coming in your life. And also, if you were to sit and think about how much it hurts to lose or to move away or your friend to move away, you would be more in touch with that feeling of love. Like I really do love those people, but I don't have time to sit with that feeling of pain, so I never really get to think about or feel that love. I think to some degree, it's like sevens have dialed down their emotions. It's like we've dialed down our feelings because I don't want to feel that pain one. I don't want to feel that boredom. I don't want to feel that, there's conflict. I don't want to feel that there's problems. And so I'll dial down my emotions and I'll spend the rest of my life trying to find the volume for just happiness. So what do I need to do? And I'll be thinking about all the time, what do I need to do to try to dial up happiness while keeping all the other negative, and I say negative because they're not necessarily negative. Sadness, why is sadness negative? It is to me, it feels like a negative emotion. Anger, sadness, indecision. These feel like negatives, but I don't know that everybody would think of them that way. I think they would just think they're emotions, like they are real emotions, and you're supposed to really let yourself feel and process those emotions. But I think my perspective as a 7 has always been those are negative and should be avoided because they're going to just slow you down, bring you down, weigh you down. And why would you want to wallow in that? It feels like you're getting trapped. It feels like you're being stuck. You're not. And I know that now. But I don't think that was obvious to me before I started to really learn about the Enneagram. It was like I need to escape. And there's probably been times in my life, no doubt, when I left a job too early because it was getting difficult, because the people were getting difficult, the problems were starting to, mount up, the pile on the desk was getting higher, and I didn't want to sort through all that. It felt tedious and loathsome. And so maybe it's easier to just, and there's a great big world out there, and I wonder how things are on the other coast. And 7s sometimes run away from their problems when they need to stay and just endure and deal with and work through and process. And all of that feels very complicated and complex and unpleasant. But isn't that what just being a human is? I mean, just being a person, you have to do that stuff. How could you really grow and mature if you don't allow yourself to go through the difficulties and hardships and process that and sit with it? And I think, if you don't let yourself endure painful feelings, then I don't know that you would ever really appreciate the really joyful experiences. Somebody said it to me like this. They said, Tom, and they were just, it was probably a 1 or a 9, and he was just telling me, his life experience. And he said, if your goal is to always live in luxury, you'll never have anything luxurious. And I had to think about that. It's really an interesting point. If you live in luxury, then luxury becomes normal. It becomes your normal, right? And so the poor person, they really appreciate something nice. They might not have anything, but they have this pocket knife that's been passed down, that is a expensive item that they would never buy, but it's been given to them. What do? They really appreciate this. They really honor this. They give it a place of importance in their life because they don't have anything. This is the only thing they have that's of any value. If you have everything around you is luxurious, then it's all just common. Nothing then is luxurious. But when you don't have anything luxurious, the one thing you have really stands out and you really honor it. And I think with 7s, it's kind of like, if everything is a quest for fun and a good time and happy and upbeat and positive, well, then that just becomes kind of mundane. And so you're always having to up the energy, and it just takes more and more work to try to get less and less of a happy feeling. And I think if 7s, if we could learn to just like dial up all the emotions and like be more okay with the stations we don't like, the stations that play sadness and pain and loss, and our kids are growing up and my parents are passing away and they're sick and our bodies are wearing down and there's pain and strife in the world. If we can learn to like tolerate, to like begin to tolerate more the tedious, the boring, the painful, the difficult, the if we can learn to tolerate that and not feel like we have to get up and run and dart away from it or reframe it or refocus our attention, then I think we will be richer people, we'll be healthier people, we'll be more balanced people, we'll be wiser people, and we'll really appreciate the true joys of life rather than just skimming along, skating along the surface, trying to bounce like Tigger, another 7, bouncing, without any real direction, without any real focus. We will become more focused. And I don't think we're going to get good at anything unless we're willing to focus. We want to be good at everything. 7s are generalists. We want to know a little about a lot of things. But, to really thrive, you've got to make some decisions. And decisions can be hard for 7s because if I decide one thing, then I'm saying no to all the other options. But to really become proficient in something, we have to discipline ourselves, push against the impulses, discipline ourselves. Line to 1. We have a line to 1, which is all about discipline. And that wing 8, which is all about growing up, and owning our space and being an adult. If to really excel at something in life, we have to be willing to focus on it. We have to be willing to concentrate our efforts. Like a rifle rather than a shotgun. Okay. I'm not saying I'm great at this, okay? And you can see that if we could focus and we could say less is more, and we didn't feel like we needed to always up the energy, we were more okay with the energy the way it is, can you see how we would look more like a 5 if we did all those things? That's why 7s look like 5s in their health. They start to say, I need 2, maybe 1. I need 2 electric guitars that I love and that I play. What do I really love? Playing guitar or buying guitars? What is it I really enjoy here? Is it the playing of this instrument? Is it the learning of the instrument? Because that takes work and discipline and structure and time, and it's going to be challenging and difficult. Or is it the pursuing something I don't have yet? And I think every 7 would be challenged to really consider whatever hobbies you're into or interests you're into. Is it really that action that you love, or is it the pursuit of more, the pursuit of something else? And what would I be doing if I wasn't doing this? If I wasn't out exploring the world, what would I be doing? I guess I'd be sitting at home being bored, and I can't imagine that. What if I was more okay with just being okay? My life might be richer. I might give people time to catch up with me where I'm at, rather than always running ahead of them. 6 wing, where's your team? Stay close to your team. Okay, I've got to go to the checklist. There's so much more she says here about being real and challenging that automatic jumping on to the next new thing. Here's the checklist, okay? We're at 40 minutes almost. Here's the checklist. Number 1, you focus much of your attention on interesting activities, stimulating ideas, and future possibilities. Okay? You might be a 7. If much of your attention is on interesting activities, like, you remember 7s, 1s, and 4s are all idealists, which is to say we all kind of say the same thing. This could be better. This could be better. This could be better. And 1s, it's very simple. I think 1s, it's like these books could be straighter. This seat could be cleaner. I think with 4s, it's like this romance could be more mysterious. This outfit could be more interesting. I think with 7s, it's just, there are jet skis over there and we could be on those. This is a great beach day, but jet skis, I'm just saying, it could be a lot more fun if we... And you can see this. If you pay attention, you'll see 7s like being discontent with the way things are. Always, trying to we need to turn music on, and then it would be better. If we're going to wash dishes, we got to have music on. If we're going to paint the house, we got to have music on. And let's order pizza. Yeah, pizza. this could be better in some way. Let's call a friend. Let's make it into a contest. Let's make it into a game. You focus your attention on interesting activities, stimulating ideas. Now, again, there's that challenge. Are you interested in what you're talking about because you're interested in it, or are you interested in what you're talking about because you're avoiding being bored? You're avoiding maybe what needs to be talked about, so you're moving on to, you don't have to be doing real tangible things to be escaping in life. You can escape by focusing your attention on thoughts, ideas. It's like you want to keep your mind revving on something, because just sitting idle, and remember, what does the 7 need? To rest in silence. And instead of resting in silence and allowing my mind to slow down, I'm going to keep it revving on some topic, on something I'm so passionate about, I'm so interested in. Are you really passionate and interested in it? Or are you really passionate about not being bored? Is that what you're passionate about? Just a little check for you to think about. And future possibilities. Future possibilities. Do you see already there starts to be some anxiety? Because if I make a decision about the future, then I can't focus on the possibilities, because I've already made a decision. That's why 7s sometimes can be hard to nail down. Put it on your calendar. It can be very anxiety to put something down on the calendar as I'm going to commit to this, because what am I excited about? Possibilities. Well, if I say on Saturday from 9 to 12, I'm going to be at this event, then I can't think about the possibilities of what else I could be doing. I have locked myself in, and that can feel very restraining to a 7. And you might get very frustrated when you're in a relationship with a 7, because they tend to weasel their way out of commitments, because it feels very restraining. And now that's going to be challenging when that 7's trying to be a leader in an organization, because people need to know what the next step is. And it can be difficult when the leader says, well, I don't know, we could. And if we choose this, then we can't do these things. And if we choose that, then we can't do these things. And that could become very frustrating to the people that, are living with us and trying to love us. And I always say, we're trying to love you. We're trying to love you so much, but you're making it hard for us. And 7s, you can make it hard because you're off away from the group, doing something, that interests you. You're leaving your group behind, and you're not necessarily paving a clear path in front. You're very visionary, but almost too visionary. It's like you see so much potential and so many options that it's hard for you to really settle in on one option and then commit to that option, because it feels limiting to all the other possibilities and all the other options. You actively look for ways to engage in pleasurable or fun experiences and worry about missing out on pleasure and fun. I've got a friend who's a 7, and she broke her foot. And so she had to wear a cast on her foot, like a brace and all that stuff, because she broke her foot. And now she's a 7. So how do 7s do with sitting at home nursing a broken foot? Terrible. So in spite of having a broken foot, she managed to still go to the theme parks and get, park passes for the year, still go to she didn't want to miss out on all the fun stuff that she could be doing. And she extended the time of her broken foot ordeal for 3 times or 4 times longer than it should have, because it was so hard for her to sit still and allow her foot to heal. She kept getting up. Oh, it feels better now. I think I'm okay. Let's go to the park. Let's go to the beach. Let's go out to dinner. Let's go to the mall. Let's go. I got to get out there into that world. See, the world is filled with all these bright and shiny things, and I got to get to it. And so it took her foot 3 or 4 times longer to heal than it should have, because she couldn't slow down long enough to just let it heal. And that's a good analogy of how 7s sometimes are ruining our own lives trying to be happy. Wouldn't we be happier if our foot was healed? Wouldn't we be happier if our foot was, back to its strength? But I can't rest long enough. I can't rest in silence. Silence. There's so many things spinning around in my head that we could be doing. But what do you need to be doing? Line to 1. What do you need to be doing? I need to allow my foot to heal. Okay, well then that's what you should be doing. But I can't. I'm going to miss out. Look, there's even this anxiety about missing out on what we could be doing. Okay. You avoid potentially uncomfortable situations. Yes, I do. I do that. By keeping your options open, finding opportunities for adventure, and maintaining your freedom. And again, sometimes, what we think of as freedom is actually slavery. I mean, gluttony is slavery. You're not freely choosing. You're being controlled by this desire or this need for something you don't have. It's controlling you. And I think to some degree, when you purchase that item, when you finally buy that new electric guitar, I can rest. And you feel happy, but I don't know that it's happy because you have a guitar. It's happy because my mind can stop obsessing over this thing that I needed, and my gluttony can relax for a moment. But what's the problem? Of course, eventually, gluttony just starts to rev its ugly head again, and then there's another item that you need, and the whole pattern begins again. What if you could interrupt this pattern? And when you have that thought, I need a new guitar. What if you had the thought, my problem here is I'm a 7 feeling the stuff that 7s feel. I'm obsessing over something I don't have, believing that it would make my life more pleasurable and more enjoyable. And I'm operating from this assumption that more is always better. Perhaps it would be better to decide on one guitar that I really love and then become proficient in that one. Maybe that would be a better, more enjoyable plan than to acquire and amass a large volume of things that I don't really even care about. Ouch. Okay. You habitually come up with positive ideas and plans to keep focused on future possibilities. So very future oriented, doesn't want to sit with the past, doesn't want to sit with the present, wants to think about, can we watch this DVD? Can we watch this DVD? And they say, we're watching one right now, but I want to watch this one. I want to watch this one. Can we go outside and play? It's not playtime right now. When can we go outside and play? I remember being a kid, we had library time at school where you would go to the library and it was like so much fun. We're going to the library. We're getting out of class. Yay, it's Friday. We're going to the library. We're going to hear a great story. And then we'd all sit down in the group and the librarian would open her book and she'd start reading, the story to us. And after about 30 seconds of this, I'm like, okay, I'm done. Let's move on. This is boring. And then I'd start laughing and I'd start talking. And then I'd end up, Tommy, can you go sit in the hall? And then I'd be sitting out in the hall. And honestly, as a child, I don't even know what I did. I just know we were going to the library. She started reading the story. I made a couple of comments that seemed relatively hilarious or funny. And next thing I know, I'm like, I don't know. I'm out in the hall. And I think 7s could be a little confused as to why they're in trouble because we weren't trying to be bad. It was just so boring that we had to do something to try to liven up the mood. We were trying to help the teacher out a little bit. I mean, she can't help it. She's boring. And I'm in trouble? I don't know. I don't know what she said. She said something, but I think it was in Spanish. I don't even know what she was talking about. Okay. So, where was I? Positive ideas and plans. I think I would do this caveat there. I don't know that it's really plans as much as it is ideas and dreams. Because as soon as it becomes a plan, then you've eliminated possibilities. And so 7s can get pretty anxious when we start moving from ideas to plans. It's like, whoa, I was just brainstorming here. Don't take me serious. You start taking me serious, you're going to lock me in, and then you're going to start... I don't know that I want to go that deep here. I just want throwing out ideas here. And it can feel kind of anxious when they say, okay, well, you said we were going to take 3 steps and then turn left. Yeah, but I mean, that's just one option we could do. Don't nail me down now. I got to get out of here. Okay. And look, right next to us, the 7 is the 6. Who's more of the planner than the 6, right? We need that 6 wing. You value being free from limitations in life. You don't want to feel constrained by others or by situations. You know what? I think my daughter's helped me with this. Madison has Down syndrome, and that is a constraining situation. You can't change that. And so it causes us to have to slow down at times. It causes us to have to move at a different pace than maybe I would normally move at. And, you know, I could either resist that or I can learn to accept that and to try to enjoy, you know, whatever situation, however that changes the situation. So I think that's kind of helped, you know, me to be able to be more okay with limitations in life and being constrained. And that's just one example. I mean, just working a job, just having a job forces you to be constrained in life. You know, I mean, if I could just change everything, I'd be a millionaire. Wouldn't you? I'd be a millionaire, but I wouldn't use millions of dollars to like buy prestigious things. No, I would have like a house in Europe, and I'd have a house in Alaska, and I'd have a house in Hawaii. And they don't have to be huge, ornate structures, you know, just good enough. And then we'd travel the world. We'd go see what we haven't seen. We'd go to museums and we'd learn stuff. I just want you to see that like money to a 7 is like tickets. It's like tickets to the show, tickets to this event, tickets to this attraction, tickets to this place. And like, I want to go see how all these people... Now, do I really want to go see all this stuff? Or do I just not want to be where I'm at? So even just being an adult, having a job and having a family and, you know, getting an education and all the stuff, paying bills and insurance and all the stuff that just you have to do as an adult, there's all constraining things. And sometimes I think 7s could maybe hit the panic button and like just leave their family, abandon their post, just like quit their job and just go off to Vegas and, you know, think they're going to be happier. Like happiness is over there. And I think happiness can be right here, right? It could be right here. If I can learn to rest from all of that. I got to go do that. I got to go be there. I got to go chase that. Why can't I be happy right now? Hey, Tom, do you have a general sense of well-being? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think I have a general sense of well-being. Okay, well then you're already happy. Why can't that be enough? Why can't that be enough? Good question. Okay. You seek to equalize authority. Yes. You know, because here's the idea. Like, if you have a manager telling what you to do, well, that's constraining. And I don't want to be constrained by this person who's telling me what I have to do. So 7s are kind of soft rebellious. We're not like, unless you have a very strong 8 wing, like a 7 wing 8, we don't tend to be like openly rebellious. It's more like soft rebellion, like charm to disarm. Like, hey, I'm going to make friends with the manager, and then I'm going to tell him, hey, you don't want me to work on Saturdays. I don't work on Saturdays. I mean, come on. We're friends. You and I, we're friends. We're buddies. And so 7s use their likability maybe as a vehicle to equalize authority. And it can be hard for 7s to be an authority. That's why we do have that 8 wing and a line to 1, because, you know, 8s and 1s, those are the, you know, principals of schools and police officers and drill sergeants. And so you got that energy we've got to like expand into, because sometimes we do have to be a boss. Sometimes we do have to like look at people and say, you got to stop. You can't do what you're doing. You're going to get yourself fired. And that feels icky to a 7. Like, no, I want a world like Candyland, you know, where we're all equal and everybody having a good time and nobody's telling each other what to do. But that's not realistic. It's not very realistic. And at the end of the day, it's not very productive either. It's going to create problems. And, you know, I don't want problems, but yet the way I lead might create problems. if I'm not careful. They dislike hierarchies, don't want to be told what to do, and don't want to have to tell others what to do. You're a highly optimistic person. Want to see the good, want to see the best. Think about a 6 right next to us and an 8. Okay, much more realistic. Like, just take this one idea. Like, when I meet people, I tend to think they're my friends unless they prove otherwise. That's a 7. That's also a 9. When I meet people, I think the best about them unless they prove me wrong. And then I'm surprised, like, what? I thought they were a great guy. I had no idea they were stabbing me in the back. I didn't even realize that. You have to show me that because I think we're all friends. And look at a 6. I don't know about that guy. I need to keep my eyes on him. What do you know about this? What's going on over there? And then think about the 8. People are stupid. You know, the 8 and the 6 right there to balance out all of that positive thinking. Positive thinking is great. I'm so glad that I think this way, but I need to be able to, like, challenge that a little bit. Like, you know, maybe things aren't okay. Maybe people aren't treating me right. Maybe it's not going to be better if we don't take action. Oh no, it's going to be great. Maybe it won't be. You believe the future can always be bright. Okay, and that's great, you know, but if the future is going to be brighter, then you got to do something to make it brighter. You can't just imagine it's going to be brighter. You got to actually take action and do the things required, and the things required are not always going to be pleasant. Sometimes in order to make the future brighter, you got to deal with ugly and nasty today. And a lot of 7s don't want to deal with ugly and nasty. You'll see them get mad. When a 7 has to, like, be constrained and do what needs to be done, watch them look like a 1. Watch them look angry. I got to get out of here. I'm just frustrated. It's stupid. You know, and then watch them leave and get angry, or show up with this kind of attitude like, well, I'm doing what we got to do. We're going to sit in the doctor's office. I'm going to sit in the doctor's office. You know, and in that anger, in that frustration, in that pouty mood, I'm doing what we have to do today. I'm being an adult. What more do you want from me? Angry. But why you, who wants to be happy so much, why are you angry doing what needs to be done? Again, if I had the tattoo, do fun things, then of course I'm angry because I have to, you know, go get my car maintenance. I want to do fun things. But why can't I do all things in a fun, happy, enjoyable way? After all, I'm here on this earth to bring joy to the world. Why am I sitting here pouting and frustrated because we have to mow the lawn today and we can't go to Disney World? Look at the person with all this joy. Suck all the joy out of life. Just like remove all the joy. You know, that's kind of another thing about the Enneagram. It shows us the thing you bring to this world, you remove from the world when you're not doing well. You just suck all the joy out. Okay. You have many interests and are a generalist. You specialize in not specializing. Because if you choose one thing, then you got to let all the other things go. You have a difficult time facing pain and suffering in your life. And that avoidance of suffering actually creates suffering for yourself and for others. Okay, well, we got to be done. Time is up. I can't make these videos last for hours and hours and hours. But I hope it helps you. I hope it encourages you, if you are a 7, to slow down and really think about like how you process things. Be willing to like rest this speedy, rapid, squirrely, monkey mind and just sit still for a moment in silence and all distractions removed. And as your brain starts to like fire, to just like be okay with it, thinking of this and letting it go, and thinking of this and letting it go, and thinking of that and letting it go. And I would even say that if something starts to feel a little bit painful, to like try to sit with that a little bit. And like let yourself feel, don't just think about the pain, but let yourself actually feel the pain. And as you learn to dial up, as we learn to dial up our emotions, maybe we won't have to work so hard to try to sense the happiness. Maybe the happiness can be much more normal in our life. And I think when happiness becomes normal, no matter what's going on around us, we could call that joy, which is a fruit of the Spirit. Happiness is just, dependent on the circumstances around me. Joy could be had at any time. All right, guys. As always, be present to life. Don't miss what's right in front of us because it's not fun, because it's boring. Maybe whatever we're doing right now could be the most important thing that we're doing. And by the way, happiness can only be had right now in the present. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.